going that way, guys.
Last night at a nightclub, Terence, Crawford and Gervonta Tank Davis were involved in a heated clash that quickly got out of control. People were shocked as punches were exchanged, family members were dragged into the drama, and serious tension filled the air. The trouble began after Davis crossed the line with harsh comments aimed at Crawford and his family. He also mocked Crawford over his interest in fighting Canelo Alvarez. This rivalry had already been building for a long time, but last night everything finally reached a breaking point. Now let us get into what happened. The setting was a busy night in Miami with famous faces and athletes filling one of the city's biggest clubs. Terence, Crawford and Gervonta Davis were both there enjoying themselves after their latest fights. At first they stayed in different VIP sections, but later in the night they eventually came face to face. Witnesses said the mood changed fast when Davis walked over to Crawford looking ready for an argument. What began with light talk soon turned serious after Davis started making personal remarks not only about Crawford but about his family as well. The level of disrespect quickly became hard to ignore. Crawford, who is usually known for staying calm, tried not to react in the beginning. But once Davis started taking shots at Crawford over his push to land a fight with Canelo Alvarez, the whole mood changed instantly. Davis laughed and mocked Crawford by saying, "Canelo is not even thinking about you, man," and claimed that Crawford was only trying to get the fight because of the money involved. Everything changed in an instant when Crawford finally lost his patience. He suddenly moved toward Davis and threw a punch that shocked everyone around them. Security stepped in right away to pull both men apart, but by then the situation had already turned into complete madness. People started yelling, phones were recording, and the club quickly fell into total confusion. It became the kind of moment people would talk about for a long time, and not for the right reasons. Anyone who follows boxing closely knows this situation did not happen without warning. The bad blood between Crawford and Davis had been building for months through social media shots and comments made during interviews.
Likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. Me and two gonna know each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp?
Huh?
When are you going to be in a camp? I know you're
in
here.
Camp? Training camp in March.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the middle of the February or March. Yeah.
The whole situation started after Crawford took a shot at Davis for not getting invited to Turkey Alalshika's private ring awards event in London, which clearly bothered Davis. Davis, who is known for speaking his mind, did not stay quiet and fired back by saying Crawford was more focused on making money than building a legacy, especially because of his debated decision to go after a fight with Canelo Alvarez. The harsh comments kept going in both directions, and each response felt more personal than the one before it. This rivalry had already been making headlines for quite some time, but nobody believed things would ever reach the point of turning physical until now. The Canelo-Alvarez situation became one of the main things Davis used to mock Crawford. Crawford's choice to move up to 168 pounds and go after Canelo for his unified super middleweight titles received different reactions from fans and people around the boxing world.
Why are you retiring?
What changed? What made this
Trash, garbage.
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during the time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford and Leonard Edelby usually they're around to?
You think you might be gaining love for it though? You never know. Like say you got a spark today.
On one side, some people view it as a fearless decision and a chance for Crawford to strengthen his legacy by facing one of the biggest stars in boxing. On the other side, critics believe Crawford is simply going after a huge payday while having very little chance of actually defeating Canelo.
Crawford, just won his debut at 154. Said if the money's right, we'll fight. Everybody wants that fight. What do you feel about that matchup? People saying the weight, all this stuff. How do you feel about that?
You know, everybody wants to fight me. Everybody calling me out and everything. And you know, like I say, I have nothing to win with Crawford. 2-3 weights class less than me. But if the money is right, why not? Right? Why not? But look, I'm focused 100% on Berlanga. I know I have a challenge in front. I never overlook any fighter, so I'm focused 100% in this, and then we'll see.
Davis did not stay quiet when it came to this topic. He made fun of Crawford for believing Canelo was interested in him or the possible fight. Davis reportedly said that Canelo had more important things to focus on, and claimed he was not even thinking about Crawford, while adding that Crawford looked like someone desperately chasing a fight as if his future depended on it.
Tonight, Terence Crawford was Turkey Al-Sheikh at the other event across town, put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turkey Al-Sheikh calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comments.
Reality is that many people have described the Crawford and Canelo fight as more of a show than a serious contest, with some believing it was created for entertainment and attention rather than true competitive value.
You say, I want Canelo. Is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you will whoop his ass.
Like, yes, man type stuff.
I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Magazine.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as stepping stones. It's about now.
Boxing experts and analysts believe Crawford should prove himself first by facing top fighters in the 168-pound division instead of moving straight into a big fight with Canelo. Davis's comments clearly struck a sensitive point, and this is what ultimately triggered Crawford's reaction.
Errol has a metal shield and you have a glass shield. Talk about the punch resistance. What do you think it takes to Seston, man?
Gonna see. Gonna see.
Could he get it in the future?
Too little.
I mean, you came up from 35, right?
He ain't fighting no real guys at 47.
So, okay. What about everyone's talking about Errol fighting the winner of Canelo and Jermell. Could you ever do that? Is that too much weight or?
What, 168? I ain't going up there.
Right.
So we got Canelo winning then, right?
He fighting at 168.
Social media went crazy after news of the Crawford-Davis brawl broke. Twitter lit up like a Christmas tree with hashtags #SharkClubChaos, #Crawford vs Davis, and #boxing drama trending instantly fast. Many fans are siding with Crawford, saying Davis crossed the line by bringing his family into the beef. Others think it is just classic Tank stirring the pot to stay in headlines as he nears retirement. And let's be real, Davis is not just throwing hands for fun, he is building hype and it's working.
My brother, Terence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo. Yeah. Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring, I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that is his weight. Yeah. And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford could match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro. Yeah. And like I said, you can't count.
Davis ISNT just stopping with Crawford word on the street is has in talks for massive rematch with Ryan Garcia, jaw-dropping $150 million deal backed by none other than Turkey Alalshik, the same guy who's been bankrolling some of boxing's biggest spectacles reportedly.
You though, is that career defining? Is this a legacy fight for you?
Well, when I got shot, for me to change my life the way that I did and stop hanging out with the guys that I hung out with, my career started going up. And yes, this is a legacy fight for me. This is a mega fight. This is a superstar fight. This is all those in one with me and Errol Spence Jr. A lot of people, they writing me off because they say, oh, well, he's too small, or he haven't fought nobody like Errol Spence, or his resume is this, or his resume that. There's a lot of things that a lot of people can say, but on July 29th, all the answers to everybody's questions will be answered.
Turkey's involvement is not just about money, it is about creating big stage energy for every fight he supports. He has become known for organizing major crossover bouts and super fights, and he is playing a role in shaping the recent moves of both Crawford and Davis.
Retiring.
What changed?
What made this shit trash, garbage?
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford and Leonard Edelby usually they're around to?
You think you might be gaining love for it though? You never know. Like say you got to swap today.
Fans are talking non-stop about how Turkey's influence is changing boxing and turning every fight into a big event. Whether it is Crawford chasing Canelo or Tank building rivalries, it all feels like part of a bigger plan to stay in the spotlight and keep fans watching. And with Davis possibly heading toward retirement, he seems determined to leave the sport in dramatic fashion, which means more big moments could still be coming.
Hopefully I fight Ryan again. If they're not on some host, I'll tax that ass again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start screaming out that, and that, stop it, knock it off, cuz. Stop it. Tell them send that bag, and I'm coming. And I'm,
So what does all of this mean for Crawford and Davis going forward? For Crawford, this incident could create serious problems. He already has a huge fight lined up against Canelo, and this kind of drama outside the ring is the last thing he needs. Promoters and sponsors will not be happy seeing their fighter in headlines for a street fight, and it could even put the upcoming fight at risk.
Canelo, Johnny Boy Boxing, Fight Hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean,
$100 million. I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
150.
150?
Davis, on the other hand, has been dropping hints about retirement for some time, and this incident could push him even closer to walking away from the sport. He still has one fight scheduled against Lamont Roach at the Barclays Center, and there are also talks of a possible blockbuster rematch bout heating up. But this recent brawl may cast a serious shadow over what should have been the final chapter of his career in boxing.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo has, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out, you know what I mean?
Public opinion is already strongly divided on the situation. It has turned into a messy controversy, and the consequences could end up being serious for both fighters moving forward.
I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry, you know what I mean? Because I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I'm wanting to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
So with all this drama, the main question now is whether this could actually lead to an official fight between Crawford and Davis. The weight gap between them is a major factor, but boxing has seen surprises before. Crawford has been fighting at welterweight and is moving up towards super welterweight, while Davis has built his name in the lightweight division. However, with Davis hinting at retirement, it leaves the door open for anything to happen.
Back first.
They talking, they talking, they talking, they talking, they talking, they talking, but you know how it's gonna get. 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 A real machine. You know how it's gonna get. A real one. And I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother. Yeah, now watch this. Now watch.
They gonna be
now
there.
watch. Now watch.
What's different from 10 minutes ago
You
when
know
you said
how
that?
you know how when they told you say how like I posed for Lomachenko, right? And like how he said like he was retiring, things like that. I feel as though like we've been in it so long that we are getting tired of it. Like we've been beating our body up so long, but it be like situations like just now, like when he talking that spark the plug again.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Is that all it takes for you? Is that all it takes? Just a little comment?
Nah, but that's what I want though. I don't want you to fight me like you saying you're going out.
Always go like this. Always go like this.
Nah, what I'm saying, you just said you feel like you going out.
They go to sleep.
I don't want you to feel like you going out.
If these two ever decided to settle their issues inside the ring, it would easily become one of the most talked about fights in modern boxing, and fans around the world would be fully locked in. There are still many challenges in making it happen, but the interest from fans is clearly there. Now the question is where things go from here. Will both fighters face punishment for what happened? Could this situation actually turn into a sanctioned fight between them, and what impact will it have on their careers and legacies? There are still a lot of questions without answers, and the boxing world is waiting closely for the next update. One thing is certain, this story is not finished yet, and Crawford and Davis still have unfinished business, whether inside the ring or beyond it. We will be watching everything closely, so stay tuned for more updates.